I always wanted to begin my journey from Himachal because this is the land I belong to. I wanted to do something which no one in Himachal have ever done before. I still remember the first time foraging. How can I forget? The sensation of realizing that I was surrounded with so much of food around me. And I thought, there must be a way to use these indigenous ingredients in an as easy manner as to fetch things off a supermarket shelf. In the same regards, I worked with such professionals who have dedicated their whole life to the soil of Himalayas. It gave me an inspiration, and their knowledge opened so many different dimensions to what a chef can do with these ingredients and create menu for our imagination. I think it's time that our future generation should learn to harvest sustainably and should be able to identify herbs, plants, roots, and even their uses. Himalayas have always been more than a landscape. Whether you talk about their people, culture, tradition, or even their food. India is not just about curries and kebabs, and I'm sure that this journey will help us to showcase it better.
Nobody came to India for her heat and dust. Right from the times of Alexander, then to the Central Asian hordes, then the various colonial empires, everybody came to India. India remained resolute, and as resolute as she has been from the times of Bharatvarsh.
Wow. Oh, what a trailer. Welcome, Chef Sanjay Thakur, to the humble meeting organized by IHM Meerut. I'm so happy that such a renowned chef, such an esteemed personality. I saw your TED shows. I saw your, I must assure all the attendees that they are blessed to have Chef Sanjay Thakur with them. Without further ado, may I request Mr. Ashish Tyagi to kindly introduce Chef Sanjay Thakur to all the attendees, please.
With excitement, I am pleased to welcome and introduce our guest speaker of the day on the behalf of IHM Meerut, Chef Sanjay Thakur, currently working with the airline industry. Chef Sanjay has been in the industry over 13 years, now hailing from Himalayas. He is one of the first foragers of India promoting real sustainable dining across the globe. He has been the candidate for national team for Culinary Olympics. As we know, it has Bocuse d'Or twice. He has been the youngest chef semi-finalist, Middle East and Africa, and a Guinness World Record holder or setting up world's highest pop-up restaurant in Everest region, having an undying passion for food. His efforts have been well awarded globally, including Culinary Mentors IFCA. Chef Sanjay Thakur is Vice President of Young Chef Association of India. He is very passionate chef from Himachal Pradesh, India, and after completing hotel management from Chandigarh, joined STEP training program with Oberoi Group of Hotels. After that, he worked with Australian Best Hotels. He moved to Melbourne, Australia to pursue hospitality management with Holmes Colleges. There he started journey in Melbourne with Langham Hotels, one of the finest property in Melbourne. Then after a year, moved on with venues, which let him grow in different sectors, for which he worked with Melbourne Cup, IFL League, Australian Open, International Cricket Tournament, etc., adapting different style of events. After that, he worked with Australian best hotel Crown Casino, where he worked with banquet team for an year, then moved to Nobu, a fine dining restaurant in Crown Casino, and explored the fine dining cuisine. In short span of time, he learned many different cuisines and worked with biggest including Chef Nobu, Atul Kochar, David Brook, and many. Then he visited his hometown Himalayas, where got inspired from his biggest inspiration, that is his father, started working for pursuing the cuisine of the Himalayas, for which his father has been working since long. Then there he was responsible for the evolution of Himalayan soil and contacted with educational institutes to help understand what sort of valuable resources does Himalaya comprise and promote healthy lifestyle. In 2013, he started this self-funded Himalayan soil project and starting researching for the team to work on this project. In 2014, he got selected from India to represent Asia Pacific, which is regarded as Olympics in culinary world and dream of many passionate chefs. In 2015, he represented Middle East and Etihad in Young Chef held at Cape Town and finished as second best chef in Middle East. As an icing on the cake, he again got the chance to represent the Asia Pacific twice, which very few chefs got the opportunity. Now he has been back to the, then he has been moved to the place near to the India to work because he wanted to concentrate on his project. We appreciate him very much as he is back to the roots, working all around the globe in India to perceive the cuisine of Himalayas and to bring the people to a healthy lifestyle. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
See, I was saying that Chef Sanjay Thakur is so accomplished. We are so glad to have him with us. Chef, if you allow, I would like to introduce the panel members to you. You are the speaker for the day, but the panel will help you, assist you with different activities.
Sure.
We have Mr. Azhar Hussain. Mr. Azhar Hussain is the coordinator of our institute. He is looking after a course. He is like a vice principal. And similarly, we have Mr. Ashish Tyagi. Ashish Tyagi ji bhi हमारे college में coordinator हैं. Both of them are very senior positions. We have with us Chef Professor Saurabh Chandra. Professor Saurabh Chandra is a mechanical engineer by trade. He's been in IHM Meerut for about 15 years. He's a very dedicated, very long-standing person. He takes care of. He's the head of the department of Allied. Allied means all the subjects which are not core subjects, not front office housekeeping subjects. You know, the other subjects, management, accounting, engineering, nutrition, all these subjects. So he's the head of the department. And we have with us Mr. Abhishek Charles Peter. Mr. Abhishek Charles Peter is the assistant professor for front office. I am Chef Professor Anand Mittal. I am the principal of this college. You already know me. This introduction, I would like to hand over the stage to you. And we would like to request you to tell us such nice things as you spoke in the TED Talk, you know, which would inspire our students and teach them a lot.
Sure, sir. Sure. First of all, thank you, Chef Anand. You know, it is always a pleasure to connect with the, hospitality-based institutions because it shows how much of a drive institutions have, to bring their students forward and, to be an example. Anyhow, India is leading when it comes on workforce from the kitchen or hospitality industry. So I think institutions somewhere are doing a great job, pushing that numbers out, which is required globally. So, that's why it's always great to connect, and it's nice meeting all your colleagues and all the faculty members. I'm thankful everyone is here on time and organize this beautiful session. and I look forward. I mean, we can always keep it interactive wherever, I mean, you guys would know better what students want to know, what their expectations are, and what they're actually looking for, because a lot of questions these young ones get. And of course, colleges always help them to answer those queries and give them that weapon of base which they can take it forward. But at the same time, industry से जो travel किए हुए लोग हैं उनसे भी कुछ, they always have few queries. So I'm sure आप लोगों को वो day to day basis पे मिलती होगी ऐसी query, and we would be more than happy to add up to whatever you guys been guiding to the students. And that's how I think it will be a great sort of a combination together.
For today, chef, like you suggested, you suggested, let us keep the topic as hospitality, the scope of hospitality, the big scope of hospitality.
Yes, yes, sure.
Yes. So and then eventually we will call you to our campus and we will let you meet our students, and then you can face to face ask them.
Definitely, we're gonna do that as well someday. Yeah, the scope of hospitality. This was a topic which I think is not being covered. Students, when they planning to get into the hotel management institutions, they have the mindset that okay, यार या तो waiter बनना है, या तो manager कहीं बन जाएंगे, या daddy का business संभालेंगे, या we will be a chef or a cook. So these are the 4 different sort of mindsets leke jo students come into the industry. But we were discussing a little bit about my past, that the things I have done and why I have done in a short span of time. This is why I will correlate this topic with this. So adding to that, my back experience, I've added few other things which I worked as. One of them was to work in a zoo. So I was working for a Melbourne zoo for about 6 months time, and it was amazing experience. I mean, very different, and I don't think so any students will ever think of that ki zoo mein bhi ek chef ki requirement hoti hai. But there is a requirement. First thing is, a lot of special events take place for VIPs, for royalties. They want to come and celebrate their special occasions next to the cage of whatever big massive animal with the backdrop. People have different sort of fantasies, so they try to go to all these weird directions. And the other place which I worked in my past was old age care. Now this is something very I would say a life-changing experience for me when I was working in that old age care facility, because first of all, you work with people with a lot of dietary needs, because you have very different sort of clientele there, right? Everyone wants some or the other sort of dietary needs there, which I don't think so hotels or restaurants take very seriously until now, especially back in India. When you go global, yes, especially in Australia, it got very serious. I would say back 5 or 6 years that the people started taking all these dietary requirements very seriously. It wasn't that much in depth like it used to be. For example, Noma, which is a restaurant very famous nowadays, they have almost over 70 different categories of dietary requirements which they offer to the guests before taking their reservation. So I mean, the role have just expanded. So I would say when you get into such places, when I worked with old age care, we used to do very basic food, but at the same time, it gave us a lot of knowledge that that basic food should comprise of nutrition, should comprises of proper set of cooking, not overcooking anything or not leaving anything undone, which somewhere or the other jhatka style mein hotels or restaurants mein nikal jata hai. But wahan pe people really trusting their life when they are living with us, and we are literally part of their family. Because for an example, I'll just give you a basic example, because I think food connects you emotionally as well rather than just professionally, and which I learned over there, that how much of an emotional impact it gives to an individual when you're cooking for them. And old age people, they are much more connected to you when it comes to care, and they really expect, once they give that bonding to you, they really look up to you when you're cooking for them. So I used to have a family. Of course, his son couldn't take care of dad because he was in his own situations. He left his dad to the old age care facility, and dad was roughly about 84, 85 years old, which is quite a feat itself. Yeah, but the memory was so weak that his son has told him that he's gonna be back tomorrow with this one particular type of bread he eats every day, and that bread, the recipe, was from one of the bakers, local bakers in Melbourne, and from the suburbs, not from the outsource. So the dad used to every day get ready and sit next to the door to wait for that the bread. It was very similar to sourdough texture to have it every morning. So that time I learned from that experience that how important that memory, although he doesn't remember anything else, much more about family names, much more about that he's living away from his family. He doesn't remember all that. He just think he's on outing every day. He take his medication and fall to sleep. So then I went when his son came to visit. Actually, we discussed. Your dad really loves this bread, and he really remembers that, and it helps him to come back to this spot every single day at the same time. So can I help get your help to connect to this bakery and get that recipe? And we started doing it there, and we saw a very positive impact in his health, in his behavior, in his emotion. So we connected with food. And I mean, I'm a different race. I'm a only brown guy working in that facility where there was all white people, and I'm talking about 2008. That time there were not many Indians in Australia. So that place gave me a lot of insight about how food is very important, not just nutrition based, but as on emotional connect. And I think that thing taught me in future that whenever I'm connecting to guests, talking to them while taking their orders, I already can make a mindset. Okay, this guest gonna eat something like this, and you keep that in your mind. And when guests give you that order, your list is already prepared. You know already that he will ask for that, and that way you get connected to people so easily. So this is why the scope of hospitality is so massive. Whether you talk about hospitals, we need doctors now in hospitals. We need doctors. We need chefs now in hospitals with doctors. We need chefs to focus on nutrition, not just nutritionists. Because India में क्या हो रहा है, nutritionists जो होते हैं वो ही खुद इतने बड़े-बड़े होते हैं कि people don't really want to trust them. कि what they gonna guide us on nutrition when they are themselves gaining up extra few kilos, and not even by a small number, by a huge number.
That
So
reminds
people
me,
need to have that.
That reminds me, you are very fit.
Sir, I try to because I like to push young ones also. Every college I give, because students don't take fitness. I don't want them to be bodybuilders at the end of the day, because kitchen is already a very exhausting kind of an atmosphere where you work 13-14 hours. But I would like to give them that at least take 30-40 minutes out of daily routine to go for a little walk, do a little bit of stretching, basic. Because nowadays celebrities, I tell you, celebrities have started hiring their personal chefs to take care of their I would say daily nutrition. And how I come to know, because I worked for Etihad Airways for 7 years now, and we meet celebrities every single day, especially when talking about Will Smith. I flew with him. They all have their proper diet plan. That's what they're eating at every time. So I asked him, does it nutritionist who make these things for you, or is it a chef who designed this protocol for you for your dining habits? And it's always about 80% of chefs' input, because chefs know what Will Smith would love to eat. It's not the nutritionist which will know what he eats, what his daily habits are. Okay, they can say, okay, you take vitamin D, vitamin C, but how to take that vitamin D or C in what best format that it's tasty and it gives that maximum nutrition at the same time, it is all about chefs. So this is something which I think students totally don't think on. And this is more of a profession bit. Now, when we come out of that profession bit and we go on a different level, that when we come to hotel management institutes, we never think that let's be a wine sommelier. It's a profession which not many Indians are into, and it's a profession which is not very popular in India at the moment. But giving it next 5 years, I think it will get to a very different level. So wine sommelier. And then comes to a cheese maker. You get into cheese making. There are very few facilities who do very beautiful cheese. In fact, I'm in contact with Old Hill Foods in Himachal, and they are a very small boutique place who make barrels of Parmesan, who make different sort of cheese. They're doing experimenting, and it's a young guy from hospitality college, one of those colleges who who learned about cooking, who learned about service, and then but then he wants to go more into depth into some of the other sector. So you know, people create ideas like this. I'm not saying कि ठेली लगा के बैठ जाओ, बर्गर बेचो, ये करो. It's more, हमारे ये होता है कि यार कुछ नहीं हुआ तो अपना एक चाउमीन का स्टॉल खोल लेंगे, या you know, we'll start doing this small. I mean, there's nothing wrong in it, but when you can do something at the same time, we can research on these things like making cheese. Now, I personally, I got into foraging. My next step will be to work more into Ayurvedic farming. So in Himachal, surprisingly, there are only 2 Pandits who come and do your farm. So you have to grow your farm from Ayurvedic basics, from scratch. So there are only 2 Pandits who are doing it. And when we got into them, we were talking to them, they were like, it's not in demand because people don't have patience for that sort of a mindset. And I mean, there's nothing wrong when you go, when we saw the differences between 2 sort of farming. I would say that we can get any specialist to check the soil. We can get any specialist from any country. You would see a massive difference, a farm being prepared by an Ayurveda basis and a farm being prepared just by itself. And it's not just facts. I never do talk stories like a lot of our historians and a lot of people love to. We actually work with the specialists, and you might have seen in the video, all these people, they are PhD, they're doctors, and they have been working behind the scene for all these you know, topics. And I personally been there to work on these topics, so I can say that. And now our only next process would be to actually you know, put a practical format to it. So once the practical format is ready, I would definitely love to bring it to all the IHMs that let's take a small land and let's prepare that land on basis of Ayurveda. We are not losing anything. Every college. I think your mic is mute, sir.
Yeah.
So every college, yeah.
This is so inspiring. You know, since we came into the lockdown stage, I have taken up the hobby of gardening. I have created massive, you know, I started with flowers and then I moved on to vegetables. And I have created a massive nursery on my terrace. My terrace was all unoccupied and now it is full of plants, and it is such a good feeling, you know. But the inspiration that I got from you just now is to look into Ayurveda, you know, to learn how to do it like our ancient sages taught us. I was just following our Mali, you know, so whatever he used to tell us. Actually, the Mali also was not coming because of the lockdown. So all this gardening that happened was out of my own initiative, and trust me, this is the first time. I'm 55 years old. This is the first time in my life that I have tilled the soil and I have planted seeds and I've, you know, kind of got my hands dirty. First time. And today, after 3 months of my hard work, I am practically eating vegetables from my terrace.
Grown
On the terrace and from the terrace, and it is very satisfying. But yes, I'm inspired to follow the more scientific methods of the Ayurveda.
Yes, sir. The problem is in India, you know, due to a lot of religious beliefs, I think people don't take things seriously rather than they move it into a religious zone. I think people have to think more broad-minded and think the logic behind it. That what is the logic? And I think the logic behind farming is to keep it as organic as we can. Let's use the word organic, you know, because it's more globally famous. But normally, even when you go to organic farming, it's not being done organically. There's a lot of artificial things being used in organic farming. अभी हमें कुछ पता नहीं होता ना, हमारे पास टाइम होता है जाके लेबल्स देख के किसी फार्म को कांटेक्ट करने का कि सर हाउ इज दिस farming organic. So we don't do it. We don't put an input and neither 5-star properties. And आम आदमी के पास तो वैसे ही टाइम नहीं है, जो सामान आ गया and we use it. But the thing is, when we actually put it on papers and put it on a proper format to showcase to people, like, look, this is a very transparent process and this is how we're going to do it. And मैं चाहता हूँ, जैसे सर आपने, you said that you know, it took you 55 years to get farming done for the first time. I think it should be the first or second day of the hotel management college students to come into the college, have a little farm and know a little bit about soil and growing these things on the campus itself. Because by the end of third year, they will be, at least have that basic knowledge ki kahin pe bhi kuch, they want to get into a little bit of farming, they can get into it. So I think it's a very good initiative, and we begin this initiative with the Waksha, Manipal University, where I've been visiting for a while now, and students were very passionate. The faculty was very passionate, and they got into this, and the result is students are researching on indigenous ingredients now, which is very good. I would say it's a breakthrough that colleges have started taking initiatives, and I think it's going to grow more, much more into a better scale than less in coming future. So okay, so coming back to the farming business. So I personally got into foraging first, and this is my next step, which will be right now, and we have already started working on this. Yes, sir.
Chef, Sanjay, sorry to interrupt you. I think I just give you some rest. You have been speaking continuously. So
sure.
First of all, I thank you, for visiting, for having here, and it is a great pleasure. I totally agree that the opportunities and the full potential of hospitality industry is not being explored by the students, and they don't know about there are different fields and so much potential they carry as a career. As I am from F&B service department, and there are so much of professions like you mentioned the sommelier, or so like sommeliers, like wine buyers are there, wine merchandisers are there, and in marketing there are a lot of jobs, and in wineries and distilleries, viticulture, and so there is huge potential, I agree, and which is not understood by most of the students, and they just keep in their mind that these are the 4 departments which is shown to us, and
yes.
This will be our future. So I totally agree in that, and I would like to you to continue the talk, sir. Thank you so much. And
thank you, sir.
Just a moment, Chef. I would also like to ask one thing, that as you have been in collaboration, or you have been contacting the institutes, so what would like to suggest the students, that they have to also emphasize on the ingredients from which they are cooking, apart from learning the cooking techniques in the colleges?
Yeah, sir, this is my main focus actually during my every talk, because nowadays fusion has created a confusion. I would not, you might also agree, every hotel management college, I'm talking about private or everywhere, they might teach, let's say, butter chicken, for example, differently. So students will never know the importance of when we talk about consistency of the recipe, or breaking it down into a proper format that they go anywhere. It's consistent, at least amongst the hotel management colleges, at least. I know government-based colleges, they're all following the same format, but I would say everyone should have that same format, that we are, bringing out the students with a common base, not everyone coming up with a different sort of basis, which again creates a conflict at a different stage. So now what we started working on more is giving importance to the ingredients. As an example, when we're talking about butter chicken, we talk about tomatoes being used. So we were been talking to a lot of people who are preserving seeds. And in India, there are not many facilities who are doing it organically. They are being forced by the government to do it just to show numbers to the UN. Otherwise they won't do it. Unless they don't, someone give them bamboo from the back, no one gonna start working on these things. So we used to have over 3,000 different varieties. Globally, there are more than 7,000 varieties of tomatoes. Not saying the exact numbers, but somewhere around these. And then in India, at the moment, it's not going over 50, 60 types of varieties which has been preserved on a seed format. So now what is happening is that in the market, we are only using hybrid 13 and 14. We're not using any different sort of tomato. So the question comes that what is the difference between a dhaba gravy and a 5-star property? They can't just say that we are charging you for amount of the luxury we are giving you. It's not the luxury people gonna eat at the end of the day. It's the end product of that ingredient which they're gonna eat. So I would say, aam bande nahi kar sakte hain ki jaake, they contact these things and they start growing those different sort of tomatoes which are not easily accessible. It's the initiative which will come when we educating our young ones. And when these young ones become an executive chef one day, and it will be their job to bring those tomatoes to life, you know, bring those ingredients which are dying in the seed facility just to be preserved. We can try and work on it and start growing these things rather than keeping it as a gallery of that. Look, जी हमारे पास इतने varieties हैं, but just हमें use नहीं करने, रखेंगे हम, you know, just to please the UN facility. So that way, I think if we start imparting that now, importance of an ingredient, I think the chapter of you know, this consistent format will come a little bit in a stage, a little bit later in the stage. So yeah, you were saying, sir, something?
Yeah, I will.
Yes.
I will want to say that there is a lack of awareness in all these things. Like no one is aware what should be there and how it can be done. So how should we, like, how to take initiative? Like what can be the starting point?
So starting
Like
point
for a layman sort of.
Yeah. No, it's a very good question, sir. The thing is, the topics which I have been covering from last 7 years, it has been very complex topics. A lot of people don't like it, and we know हमारे 5-star properties के chefs तो they are like this, हमें सब आता है. अगर आपको सब आता है तो why after so many years of working in the industry, I have to bring Bichu Butti to Oberoi's? Bichu Butti, which is a very basic thing, which is growing on the roadside in Himachal everywhere. You will even find Jammu Kashmir side. You will find a lot of places. And it's much more nutritious than your spinach. It is much more nutritious than asparagus. But nahi, asparagus sound fancy, broccoli sound fancy. So we'll bring that asparagus and broccoli in the menu. So I would say every individual, and I think colleges also, जब competitions organize करा रहे हैं, we should initiate these students to go and bring something from their own locality, from their own you know, place, and create a recipe on that. And that way, you know, what will happen? People will start getting that mindset that India is not just curries and kebabs. India have much more versatility of ingredients. We cannot just say chole bhature khao and keep getting fat. Like there is no sense behind nutrition when it comes to food. I'm not saying ki, you know, Ayurveda mein they say either you can keep your this whole big body happy of 6 feet, or you can keep your little tongue happy. So अगर आपको अपनी जीभ खुश रखनी है तो आप अपनी बॉडी खुश नहीं रख सकते. अगर बॉडी खुश रखनी है तो जीभ खुश नहीं रख सकते. तो people
I must say yes. Very well said.
Very well said.
Yeah. And हमारी mentality is very different. Our mentality is हम बॉडी खुश रखेंगे जी, फिर बाद में बोल देंगे हमें ये प्रॉब्लम है, हमें डॉक्टर ने मना किया रनिंग के लिए, हमें ये है. हमें कुछ नहीं है, हवा से पेट नहीं भरता है, पेट नहीं बढ़ता. And I know in some scenarios there might be cases where people gain weight. But at the end of the day, everything is possible through food. Everything can be cured through food, unless it's a very unfortunate diseases. Yes, I agree on that. But a healthy lifestyle is our own choice. Or layman ke liye, to I think they should start from like the basic example, because, sir, I tell you, it's a very hard topic to put on practice because people don't take it seriously. Abhi bhi, क्योंकि इंडिया में डिमांड नहीं है इस चीज की. No matter how much you push, I can guarantee you that even after 7 years. Taj or Oberoi's के menu में broccoli और asparagus ही होगा. There wouldn't be anything else than that. I can guarantee you that. So this is very hard to change. And I tell you, the people who have changed it, okay, the biggest example is Noma. I don't know if you guys know about Noma. Noma has been best restaurant 7 years in a row. Their menu change on season basis, and they do beautiful. उनके जो menu में ingredients होंगे ना sir, वो हमारे आधे से ज़्यादा chefs को पता ही नहीं होंगे. Because they put, जब उनका next 3 महीने का menu आना है, they will put before 6 months people on research कि जाओ यार ingredients पे काम करो, bring the menu. They have R&D lab. We don't want to grow an R&D lab in our hotels or restaurants. Why? Because हमें granite जो ताज महल में लगता है वो होना चाहिए. हमारे होटल में chairs इटली से आनी चाहिए. हमारे bed सोने के होने चाहिए. These are the things. और kitchen का space जितना छोटा हो सकता है होए. Kitchen में ingredients जितने caviar or lobster दिखा दो तो this is a 5-star place. So this is the mentality which have to change. Noma doesn't give you lobster. Noma is charging almost $1,000 per person. They're not giving you lobster there. They are bringing ingredients which have more value than lobster. I would say सफेद मूसली अगर आपने सुना हो. सफेद मूसली.
Yes, I've heard of muesli. We used to have it in the Swissair menu. muesli with cream and fruits, and it was
नहीं sir,
imported
this
from Switzerland.
musli, this नहीं this नहीं sir, this is musli, musli, सफेद musli.
Okay.
It's a kind of a root, and it's a dry herb. It's one of the most expensive thingy which you can buy in Abu Dhabi. वो 20-25 ग्राम मेरे ख्याल से और कुछ नहीं तो 1500 दिरहम की थी. सर सफेद मूसली ना एक herb. I don't know how to explain it. It's a root. It's a super expensive root.
Okay.
हाँ जी. और not many people are using it in India. Hotels तो कोई भी use नहीं कर रहा है, restaurants भी नहीं. Of course कहीं छोटे मोटे villages में थोड़ा बहुत लोग गर्म पानी या दूध में डाल के they might be using it for some of the other things or not. But this is I think this is the responsibility of a chef to use these roots which are so expensive, so exotic to India, and promote it. You know, truffles को ऐसे promote करते हैं लोग जैसे पता नहीं क्या दे दिया. यानी पास्ता होगा, फ्लावर अंडे से बना के उसमें बस थोड़ी सी क्रीम डालेंगे, फिर ऊपर आधा किलो ट्रफल शेप करके बोलेंगे लो जी, this is your 5,000 rupee worth pasta. I would say we also have such ingredients. You know, कचनार की झाड़ आती है. We have a lot of such berries which are very exotic and very hard to get. Yellow raspberries we get, you know, Himalayan berries of course. तो ये सारी चीजें काफी, ये just few examples. That's why we have a list of lot of such things which only grow in that particular season. And I mean, if you grow over even कई ingredients का सिर्फ 2 weeks का gap है, 2 weeks का window है. So you can only access them for those 2 weeks in the worst places ever. And if you don't grab them, they're gone. Then you have to wait for another year to get those. So you know how exciting is it? How exciting a role of chef is it to bring those things to life and share it with people, and you know, let them be wow. I did one event for Wildflower Obrois where we were shooting this Himalayan soil ka thoda bahut kaam, and we bought one Gora chef YBL with us, and then other bit was me. Why we bought Gora chef? Because I am going to hotels to tell them that let's do an event like this. They will not be interested unless they see you know, someone from abroad coming and giving them those marketing hype. Until then they don't consider, they don't have trust on our own chefs. The problem is we can come and pay 15 lakh per day to Daniel Hum to bring him to India, but we can't put that 15 lakh into research of our own ingredients. So this is the mindset we have, which will of course gonna stay same. We can't change that, but at the end of the day we keep a balance. Bring them also, but bring them here to show them how much versatility we have. You know, Daniel Hum came to India, he got inspired with so many ingredients. He took ingredients from India to put in his menu. And Daniel Hum was number 1 back 2 years back in the world, number 1 restaurant in the world. And you see how beautifully he present those ingredients on his menu is the philosophy of a chef. That's how they grow. And this is the philosophy is missing between our chefs and their chefs. We get inspired by opening a cookbook and यार उसने क्या किया था, अच्छा इसमें 2 ingredient change कर दो and put it on the menu. But they will take that ingredient, and like I mentioned in my TED talk also, for an example, if they're taking spinach also, they're gonna probably cook with a clay pot. They're gonna probably cook it on the grill and see what kind of you know, aromas, how much of a moisture content we are losing. They will study all those 6-7 types and they will see कि कौन से type में cooking best suit करती है आगे dish को लेके जाने के लिए. And we don't do that much क्योंकि बहुत काम है. हमारे में उतने तड़के लग के 4 ग्रेवियां एक ही ग्रेवी में से निकल जाती. So this mentality, whether we talk about farming, whether we talk about cooking, we have to give up on jugards. We have to give it up on you know, this fixing up things quickly. Yaar, kar do, ho jayega. We have to stop and we have to break down. Or wo habit, I think, sir, will grow with time, and especially when it will be you know, put into students, and that is the time they will come out more positively, and students will start thinking of broader perspective than just sticking into hotels. So this is the main factor. Just day before yesterday, I was watching. There's a water sommelier who helps you do a water tasting. So basically, they आपको पानी लेके आ रहे हैं different parts of the world का. They're doing water tasting, and I was very shocked that people can have. I will in fact send you the link for that. and I was very shocked that पानी भी इतना वेरी करता है और उसका टेस्ट भी इतना वेरी करता है, एंड देन मिनरल्स कितने उसमें वापस जा रहे हैं. सो आइसलैंड में जो वाटर प्लांट्स बने हुए हैं, they have a lot of knowledge inside them. And I think our technology also, someone from our hotel background should go study those plants in Iceland. They have been an example for the world, and then bring that technology to India some or the other way. हम उतनी तो नहीं ला पाएंगे, but अगर उसका 5% या 10% भी लेके आए, I think it will be a great transformation. And I think this all responsibility is of a hospitality professional. You know, sir, we got a stage. I did a demo at IIT, Triple IT Delhi. Chefs were never belonged in that high-profile suit where we are sitting in front of PhDs and talking about food, because they will definitely be having more knowledge than us when it comes to scientific bit of food. But no, this time they had a trust. I worked with Dr. Ganesh Baglar, who is working on computational gastronomy. And it's again a very different topic. It's again backed by science a lot. A lot of intense research have been done for last 7-8 years, and students don't know about it. I think students should know more about it and start to getting adapt to this knowledge, because ये knowledge ना hotels में नहीं मिलेगी. फिर उसके बाद they will start doing the same job which pretty much my dad did for 40 years in the industry, and then he realized यार कुछ किया ही नहीं हमने तो, हर रोज गए प्याज काटे तड़के मारे ऑर्डर की एंड आके सो गए. And now he realizes, that's why he keep on calling me back to India. He said, "Tu India mein kuch karega, and I want you to do for Indian food only." Yeah, that's why I did all my bit here and there, and I was like, "ठीक है, you have to make sure कि you work on that, Indian part of it, and then help कि जितना भी positively लेके आए, भले 2 dishes भी हम, we are putting it out globally. We need to have a scientific answer to it, very important, a practical approach to it. ये ना हो कि घी ऊपर तैर रहा है इतनी लेयर में कि हम उसको बोले यार लजीज है. ये लजीज की बात यहाँ से थोड़ी सी निकालनी पड़ेगी, because at the end of the day nutrition भी एक बहुत important चीज है. You can't just stick to taste buds and ignore all these other factors, because अगर हम खाने में lazy हो रहे हैं, हम habits में भी lazy हो रहे हैं. And this is, our food is reflecting our personality. This is why we take so many shortcuts, because we are taking shortcut in our food, and the food going in our body with shortcuts will definitely make up productivity also full of shortcuts. So this is the circle of food. This is how food behaves in your body. So ये point था. तो what else? Sir, aviation का बात करें तो I never thought कि aviation में chefs होते हैं. We cook up in the sky at 30,000 feet. तो I never knew that 4 seasons हैं जो अपने private chefs लेके जाते हैं. उनकी salary, sir, it begins from 5 lakh onwards per month. 5 to 6 lakh per month onwards उनकी salary है. Of course, एतिहाद की इतनी नहीं है, because we have a commercial side of a type of fleet that is private charter. So private charter के जो chefs जाते हैं, they make a lot of money. And to do a very little job just to cater 1 or 2 person on the flight, इतना पैसा मिल रहा है. तो I think perspective जो kitchen के है, it's very expanded recently. People have really started trusting chefs. पहले नहीं था इतना trust. अभी उनको air hostess से ज़्यादा chef पे trust है. कि chef should come and take our order. We feel privileged. Chef is talking to us. Cabin crew तो हर एक airline में. Chef कितनी airlines में? I think एक Turkish airline करती है, एक Saudi करती है, कहती है. And then private jets only they have chefs. So these are the things which never come out, and not many Indian chefs are working for private jets as a chef. They always prefer European candidates for some or the other reason, because maybe we don't have that awareness in India कि हम ऐसे skill set ready कर पाएं when it comes to cooking, because the clientele gets very, very high profile, very high profile. So these were the factors on aviation side. What else? I think most of the sectors are covered, but there is still more in depth. Like sir was mentioning, I think Azhar sir was mentioning before कि इतने सारे zones और पड़े हैं जहाँ पे focus नहीं जा रहा है बच्चों का. And I think as teachers, as being bit me myself, almost reaching now 15 years in industry, I can only share जितना मैं अपनी side से देखा हूँ. And I think वहीं अगर हर लोग share करेंगे, I think we will have a very bright future. We are already getting Michelin stars now. We have started recently picking up Garima getting 1 star, then Chef Gagan getting 2-star, Chef Sirijit Gopinath in Taj Compton. So now we have 2 chefs who have 2 Michelin stars. No one ever thought that Indian chefs will go that far. And from getting to that stage, we have to see, we look forward to these chefs. हमारा ये master chefs से बहुत inspired है TV पे. So we forget about who the real chefs are. Students don't know who Sirijit Gopinath is. He's the first Indian chef to get 2 Michelin star. You know, so it's such a feat that such an impressive chef. He did everything by himself. Although he was working for Taj Compton in San Francisco, I went to his restaurant. An amazing food. He's representing Indian food to such a beautiful level. It's incredible. And now the journey to 3-star is not very far. We just need more knowledge. We just need more paperwork, documentation, like I mentioned, because हम यहाँ पे food awards को बेवकूफ बना सकते होंगे जितने भी awards चलते हैं, but when it comes to international platforms like Lee Chef or World 50 Best, we can't fool them with our stories कि जी मेरी दादी ये करती थी, मेरी नानी ये करती थी और ये चीज हमने बना दी. You know, we need to have some proper backings when we talk such stories. We can't just say it as it is. So when we will have that proper platform to explain our spices, explain our food, explain our ingredients, I'm sure this 3-star won't be a problem. It won't be an issue. And it's good to have that, because when a small restaurant from Peru can get a 3 Michelin star, I'm very sure we have a population of 1.3 billion people. I'm sure किसी ना किसी को तो इतना passion होगा that he wants to drive to that extent, you know, when it comes to cooking. You know, everyone start putting flags nowadays, collar mein and all that. I think France mein, it's a very strict policy. People who are only representing country on a global level should be allowed to put flags. But India mein trend ban gaya ji, humne flag laga diya, fir butter chicken ke andar charcoal powder dalenge and we are molecular chef. So this is where we stopped respecting our white jackets. And I always tell students also, a lot of freshly graduate students, they start putting flags. Start respecting your white jacket. This jacket is good enough to have a good enough value. You don't have to put 100 flags until the country gives you to put that flag. उससे पहले उसकी respect होनी चाहिए. You know, the way our Olympic people who participates in Olympic, they get a jacket given by the government to them to wear. So same should be for the chef jacket. Not everyone. I saw even in dhabas nowadays, some chefs are putting it in Chandigarh, the flags, and it's embarrassing. I mean, what's the value of a flag? They don't understand. Just to look cool, aap yahan laga lenge. It's not a very good thing. On a very quick note on this topic only, students are not aware about the best competition in the world. That's Bocuse d'Or. Same way they have for pastry also. The same competition. It comes every 2 years, one time. Every country spend a lot of money to prepare their candidate. In fact, जो US की team है is run by Chef Thomas Keller. Everyone know who Chef Thomas Keller is. He's a brand. He's a legend. And वो इतना बड़ा billionaire आदमी है. वो तब भी छोड़ छाड़ के competition के पीछे इतना hard work करता है. 2 साल. He prepares the candidate. He invests money. The sponsors for American team is BMW. I cannot imagine how much support they're getting. So they leave their work, their candidates, and they prepare for 1 year at least for the competitions. And हमारे अभी selections था India में just last year. We invited 4 or 5 hotels. पहले तो no one showed up. एक team showed up, ITC hotel की, and we gave them 5 hours to do a competition. They took 8 hours. और उसमें से बीच में वो बंदा गायब था. जो शेफ मेन कैंडिडेट है, कहाँ है जी, होटल गया, इंग्रेडिएंट भूल गया था. तो we give so much of a disrespect to such a big platform which can change lifestyle, sir. I tell you, when I participated in this competition with that jacket, with the Bocuse d'Or jacket, I can go into any Michelin star restaurant to dine. No one stops me. And Michelin star restaurant में menu कम से कम $300 से ऊपर का ही होता है. $300-400 is a very basic price I'm talking about. Every chef respect that jacket globally. But India में बच्चों को पता ही नहीं है. Hotels को पता है, हाँ जी कौन हो जी, पता ही नहीं. I've been to to 3 Michelin star restaurants, to 2, to 1. I just gave my card. I said, look, I'm a passionate chef. I want to see your kitchen. I want to learn how your kitchen setups are, because their kitchen setups are very different to what we are setting up. Of course, cuisine पे depend करता है, but they have evolved over the time. I think we should also. So the setups are very different, which I get to learn when I travel and I talk to these chefs, and I see how much respect they have. In fact, जो France की team है, उनके जो I think they have a prime minister, if I'm not wrong. Prime minister gives that jacket personally to the candidate when he's participating in this competition. So you can imagine how big thing is that in European countries. और मैं आपको जब उनके link दूंगा, you will have a look and you will see that how valuable is that. And we don't have one facility in India which is ready to prepare a candidate for our country. In fact, Pakistan की team ज़्यादा strong है हमसे इस time पे when it comes to this. तो I think we have to start focusing. I think IHMs को ही मिलके एक facility तैयार करनी चाहिए कि अगर other people are doing it on a corrupted format, we will prepare our students, because उसका format ये होता है कि एक chef होता है who should be over the age, proper age, any age, it doesn't matter, and then one should be a commie which will be under 21 years of age. So both the things are available at the IHM colleges. Both the things, we can always have a talented chef to go and participate in it, and we can always have a student as a commie to go in this competition, and this will change life for both of them. Even the contestants of this competition, they get global job offers from different countries. So literally I can personally choose at the moment कि मेरे को कौन सी country में settle होना है. And you know, this is the power of that white jacket gave to me कि इतना easy चीज थी, कर लेते, participate करते, we should have shown some interest, and at least we go to Asia Pacific selection. So sir, these are the things I think we are not being aware of in India, which I have personally noticed with students. Jab I interact with students, they don't know anything about these things. So the course format, of course, we should stick to our course format, but at the end of the day, we should also have 1 week where we give students that, okay, this is the #1 restaurant at the moment in the world, not by the paid awards, but by World 50 Best or by Michelin Guide. Let's research why this restaurant is #1 restaurant. Whether we discuss their menu, whether we discuss what is the service platform, how do they do their service, and sir, everything is accessible on internet nowadays. By the reviews, everything is accessible on YouTube very easily. So when the students right from the college have that mindset कि देखो अभी हम यहाँ हैं और हमें यहाँ जाना है, और उसके बीच कुछ नहीं, उसके बीच मास्टर शेफ नहीं है, उसको साइड में रखो. You focus on this type of mentality, and you will definitely reach where you want to reach. But if they grow, if they go out of college thinking of being a celebrity, thinking of being just a pretty face for the TVs, I don't think so this will work ever. So like we mentioned today, Ayurvedic farming, building up indigenous ingredients, like we discussed, at least have one ingredient when you give competitions to the students or research to do the students. Say, create a dish with that unique ingredient from your region. As basic as Karela. You don't see Karela in any 5-star menu because Karela is very boring apparently. And why it's boring? Because chefs don't have power to make it into an exciting dish. It's their fault. It's not Karela's fault. A lot of other countries do.
That reminds me,
Yeah.
I had Karela stuffed with lamb day before yesterday.
Where?
It is a local speciality among some people in Rajpur in Dehradun. Karela stuffed with lamb.
Oh wow!
And it is raw lamb
Very nice.
stuffed in the Karela, and the Karela is cooked
And
with the raw lamb, and it was mouth melting, mouth watering. It was amazing here. I said, what?
wow!
Yeah, and you're right. We don't have Karela in any. I've worked in at least 20 hotels, and I've not seen
Yes, sir.
Karela on any menu.
On any menu.
We have that small Karela on a tawa that we have in.
That's it. तवा vegetable. वो भी वो
तवा
आंटी
vegetable,
लोग आते हैं थोड़ा बहुत तवा vegetable के साथ वो खाते भी नहीं उसको बस वो fancy दिखने के लिए देखा
It is just for show.
But that's what we do. So
And the
उसमें
one
भी
good
सर
thing
करेला को ना
The one good thing about Karela is, I don't know whether you know it or not, Ayurvedically, I mean, I was reading it in some Ayurvedic book, that the rough surface of the Karela, that is where the nutrition is. And that is the part that they peel off in the hotels, and they throw it away, the rough part.
And sir, they fry it, first of all. They fry it इतना ज़्यादा कि जब उसका nutrition खत्म हो जाता है, तब तक तो उसको fry करते हैं. फिर उसको खाओ ना खाओ, it's a one or the other thing. So हमारे खाने में specialty ये है कि हम खाने को cook ही इतना ज़्यादा करते हैं और इतने टेम्परेचर पे करते हैं कि whenever realize कि हमने कभी इसका न्यूट्रिशनल कंटेंट चेक किया कि नहीं किया. That is the factor. You know, in fact, I was looking to connect with some good level of food technicians in India कि हम इस पे काम कर सकें and independently, not by any force कि यार just because we are a corporate world हमें blast freeze करके अपना बटर चिकन बेचना है, क्योंकि अगर आप वो blast freeze products आते हैं उसके पीछे न्यूट्रिशनल कंटेंट लिखा होता है. तो we have to see what is the reality behind that nutritional content, how much of it is it's true और कितने उसमें myth हैं. तो वो चीजें थोड़ी सी और you know we have to work on it because in fact I was planning to in fact join a company who's doing these things at the moment, you know, who are blast freezing the food and they're outsourcing it to a bigger platforms, because then we will get to see the reality. वो जो तो वैसे हो रहा है, numbers में आ रहा है, पेपर में आ रहा है, वो तो बहुत कुछ आता है, but how much we can trust until we see it, until we see with the proper you know professionals with us, I think it will make a big difference. और अगर हमारे research projects in hotel management colleges are based on something like this, I think it will be a very beneficial for students. In fact, I was doing a course recently from Harvard. It's called Science and Cooking. It's one of the toughest courses which I've ever encountered for. It's for the chefs, and it's extremely tough, sir. Extremely tough. अगर आप वो खोल के देखें sir, you will realize कि इसमें से ऐसा कुछ है ही नहीं जो किचन में होता है, जो उस पूरे कोर्स में. It's all about you know microbiology of ingredients and going into chemical reaction chains, that how food breaks down when we cook at different temperatures. And then I was realizing that no studies have been done about how spices break down at what temperature. और ये कहते हैं ना माँ के हाथ का खाना बहुत अलग ही उसका स्वाद होता है, because माँ have perfected that range of heat. Range of heat. It's all about the heat. How you controlling that heat. अगर उनकी हाथ में 70-80 डिग्री की हीट है, तो वो 70-80 डिग्री पे ही स्पाइसेस आपके कुक हो रहे हैं हर बारी. That's why their consistency in food. और वो चीज no matter हम exact recipe copy कर ले, but we will not notice that flame at the bottom. वो कितना heat दे रही है उसको. And those spices will release their essential oil according to the heat applied and according to the time of that heat was applied to those spices, which none of the studies have been done yet on this currently. So I was very surprised that it's such an intense topic to break down how spices work. Actually, very little research have been done.
Do you know that cooking at high temperatures damages the food so badly that,
yes sir,
I don't know whether you know it or not, but any food, take my word for it, any food that you are cooking in the pressure cooker or in the microwave oven, it's finished. Nutritionally,
no, of course,
finished.
Of course, definitely, sir.
I
don't believe it.
Don't cook anything in the pressure cooker for me. Don't cook anything in the microwave oven for me, and avoid fried foods as much as possible. You know, any foods which are cooked at high temperature are finished.
Of course.
And yes, of course, the fact that you said that the temperature, the cooking time, and the degree to which food has to be heated, especially spices, that, I mean, I think I heard it in your TED talk when you said about cumin. Cumin, you know, you said about cumin being cooked at 40 degrees and then 60 degrees and then 80 degrees and then it becomes different, you know, all the while. Now this cumin that we put on the raita, that is something else. The powder we put on the raita, you know, the broiled powder, that is something else.
उसको भी roast करते हैं. Of course, roast the time के लिए करते हैं. कैसे? I mean, these are the things which are missing from our cookbooks और वो ऐसे ही चला रहा है. We call it versatility. We call it actually versatility. It's not versatility. It's laziness. कि no one wants to sit down and document यार बहुत छोटी सी चीज है कि क्यूमन हमने रोस्ट किया. अरे कितना टेम्परेचर पे रोस्ट किया है, कितनी देर रोस्ट किया है. अगर वो 3 सेकंड भी ऊपर हो गया, 3 सेकंड इज लॉट, आई एम सेइंग 1 सेकंड भी अगर ऊपर हो गया, तो it has totally different flavor component. It's not the same thing which will be at that certain temperature. And सर क्या है ना कि I was listening to Sadhguru. He said कि our India is a chaotic, नहीं कुछ तो अच्छा बोला था उसने, cosmos, like it's a chaotic cosmos. सब कुछ है but it's a very organized chaos we have in our country. Whether we talk about food, whether we, हमारी में ना इतने सारे spices चलते हैं, वो harmony आ ही जाती है. ये चीज है। तो इतने सारे टाइप के जो स्पाइसेस डालेंगे, गरम मसाला में कितने सारे स्पाइसेस हैं अंदर इटसेल्फ, तो नो वन विल एवर नो कि उसमें से एक इंडिविजुअल स्पाइस की क्या जरूरत थी डालने की कि वो काम हुआ उसका। आज तक बड़े बड़े शेफ्स आई थिंक दे विल बी नॉट फोकसिंग ऑन कि क्या परसेंटेज ऑफ स्पाइस गरम मसाला में अगर कंपोनेंट है तो उसमें हर एक स्पाइस का क्या कंपोनेंट जा रहा है ब्रेक डाउन के हिसाब से। एंड एवरी स्पाइसेस हैव देयर ओन टेम्परेचर टू ब्लूम। अगर उसको एक साथ डाला जा रहा है तो वो उसकी ब्लूमिंग कौन आंसर करेगा कि कितने प्रॉपरली आ रहे। तो आई थिंक सर जब ये चीजें वी विल हैव दीज आंसर्स, पीपल वुड स्टार्ट रिस्पेक्टिंग आवर क्यूजीन। एंड आई डोंट थिंक सो कि हमारी क्यूजीन को रेट, आई एम श्योर आपने भी ट्रेवल किया होगा, इफ यू गो टू एनी कंट्री, यू गो टू यूके एनीवेयर, आपको $10 का 10 पाउंड का आपको यूके में करी का पूरा किट मिल जाएगा खाने के लिए। ऑस्ट्रेलिया में भी 8, 10, $12 का। एंड इफ यू आर ईटिंग सैल्मन एज एन एग्जांपल, सैल्मन को तंदूरी सैल्मन करते हैं काफी सारे रेस्टोरेंट्स, मैरिनेड में भी रखेंगे, तंदूर में भी कुक करेंगे, एंड दे स्टिल एंड अप गिविंग इट फॉर $18, $17. They use spices as well. But the same salmon gone into a Japanese restaurant, कच्ची सैल्मन काट के साशिमी के टाइप में टेबल पे रखेंगे and it will be $22. You get my point? Like same salmon I'm talking about. We also use A grade salmon. They also use A grade salmon if they have to use, right? And so much of a difference. हमारा स्किल सेट कितना लगा, हमारा लेबर कितना लगा, हमारे स्पाइसेस कितने लगे, हमारी रिसर्च कितनी लगी, और इनका क्या लगा। कच्ची सैल्मन काट के टेबल पे रख के देने का, a little bit of wasabi, a little bit of ginger, and they charge so much. So this perspective have to change, and this will change when we'll start explaining our spices. And my personal pop-ups have never been lower than $450 per head. So I've always done menus above this price, and I'm not giving any lobster or caviar कि menu इतना expensive हो. I'm giving bichu butti जो roadside उगती है. But then the work went into that bichu butti, how we presented it, how we kept the nutritional content into it, how much of education went into it while eating, because आप just खाना खाने नहीं जा रहे हैं, आप educate होने जा रहे हैं in a restaurant. And that's how we should take the restaurants or the chefs, that we are going to a chef to get educated, because at the end of the day he's gonna help us understand food much better. तो ये पॉइंट्स थे मेरे साइड से शेफ, और कुछ आप अपने साइड से बताएं। मैं
anything else that you would like to add, Ashish?
Yes, chef. I would like to ask you about your pop-up. I heard in your biography the pop-up restaurant. So what it is basically? Would you like to tell us something about that?
Okay, so sir क्या था वो एक्चुअली कि मैं 2013 ऑनवर्ड से जो है अपना हिमालयन सॉइल का प्रोजेक्ट चला रहा हूँ. Like I said, I went to many hotels, many restaurants, especially focusing on Himachal first कि सर हमें ये करना है, we have a very good concept. जैसे मैंने सर को भी शेफ को बताया, शेफ आनंद को, कि we are doing this, and I think this should be heard. It should not stay in webinars. It should be heard on a global platform, and we need support. We need this. We need to showcase this beauty to a global audience now. But people were not interested. People were completely not interested whether you go to hotel. So then we were deciding here, अब Himalayas तो Himalayas है, कहीं चलते हैं. My basic plan was to go to Siachen first, because Siachen में what I wanted to do is I still will do it. I have it on a pipeline. Already talks going on with the army. So plan is that how to help soldiers get food rightly done at that altitude. They are having extreme tough conditions to eat, जहाँ पे खाना freeze हो जाता है instantly. So what are the facilities? I'm very sure whatever Indian Army is getting, they're getting it to the best format. But then at the end of the day, as a chef, how we can enhance it? तो मेरा plan ये था, but उसमें delay हो गया. So then we went into a thing called कि यार चलो let's talk about Himalayan region. Himalayan region में नेपाल भी आता है, ठीक है, थोड़ा बहुत भूटान भी आता है, थोड़ा बहुत पाकिस्तान भी आता है. तो where we can do a cuisine, मैं वैसे ही 30,000 पे कुक कर रहा हूँ in flight, 30,000 feet पे. तो थोड़ा ground पे कौन सी highest place होगी. तो we researched a lot. लद्दाख भी हमारे point में था. But then we realized कि let's go to a place where our voices will be heard. So Everest commercially, or I would say tourism wise, is very approachable. So then plan started building up. I approached Chef Soundarajan. Chef, I want to create a restaurant which will be a highest dining experience. And what we will do, we will showcase the beauty of those ingredients which are found in Himalayas. तो हमारा
All
मेन
right.
एम
So
था
is it like a molecular kind of concept, or like I heard a pop-up
हाँ.
restaurant which was by I think Chef Revo pop-up concept. So that is a molecular kind of concept.
So I tell you now, sir, again what happens कि इंडिया में अभी तक मॉलिक्यूलर की राइट रेसिपी आई नहीं है. मॉलिक्यूलर बीइंग मॉलिक्यूलर, आई टेल यू, मॉलिक्यूलर खाना जो है, इट्स अबाउट ब्रेकिंग डाउन द साइंटिफिक पार्टिकल्स ऑफ अ फूड इटसेल्फ. तो हमारे इंडिया में अभी तक मॉलिक्यूलर की रेसिपी क्या है? ड्राई आइस, लिक्विड नाइट्रोजन, थोड़े से स्पेयर्स बना दिए, थोड़े से पर्ल्स बना दिए एंड फोम बना दी, दैट्स इट. तो मॉलिक्यूलर एक्चुअली गैस्ट्रोनॉमी क्या है? मॉलिक्यूलर गैस्ट्रोनॉमी है टू ब्रेक डाउन द कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ इंडिविजुअल प्रोडक्ट और इंग्रेडिएंट यू हैविंग. जैसे कि आप मान लो कि जो फेरेनेट्रिया के साथ Harvey was the scientist who created this format of molecular dining. So what he created all these chemicals from the original ingredients. अगर potato से है तो starch बनाएगा ऐसा which will help for binding and lot of other factors, so on. तो उन्होंने create किए थे ये powders. तो now इंडिया में ऐसे powders, अब जब हम बात करेंगे, अगर आपको molecular dining करनी है तो I would say कि create an essence out of cumin और इलायची. आप उसको रोटोवैप में डालो, उसकी डिस्टिलेशन करो, दूसरी साइड से ड्रॉपलेट्स निकालो, एंड देन यू हैव डन समथिंग क्रिएटिव कॉल्ड अ मॉलिक्यूलर फूड. तो जो हम बात कर रहे हैं वो तो मॉलिक्यूलर चीज अभी इंडिया में आई नहीं है, जो लॉजिकल सी बात है, ठीक है, बिकॉज उसके लिए हमारे पास इक्विपमेंट्स ही नहीं आते जो अभी तक चल रहे हैं रेस्टोरेंट में. आई हैव सीन द बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट इन इंडिया एंड दे डोंट हैव दोस इक्विपमेंट्स एट द मोमेंट. तो रही बात 3-4 केमिकल यूज करके मॉलिक्यूलर बोलने की, तो आई डोंट सी एनीथिंग मॉलिक्यूलर इन दैट. I see a copy paste kind of a technique which is not ours, which is something else and has nothing to do with Indian food. ठीक है, तो इसमें जो हमने खाना किया था, we used the application of science, we call it. ठीक है, we had a menu which was basically more about Himalayan ingredients. Like I said, जैसे शिश्नु वहाँ पे यूज होता है, जो बिच्छू बुट्टी का एक डिफरेंट हाइब्रिड है. तिमूर सीड्स वहाँ पे यूज होते हैं, जो कि सीक्रेट है दमपुख्त बुखारा का एक स्पाइस आता है, बहुत हार्डली मिलता है. फिर उसके बाद हमने याक डेयरी यूज किया था. याक नहीं बोलेंगे, नाक बोलेंगे, बिकॉज याक is a male version, so naak is a female version, so we use that. So a lot of such things we used, and we displayed the beauty कि अगर हम लोग इतनी extreme conditions पे ये चीज डिस्प्ले कर सकते हैं, ये खाना डिस्प्ले कर सकते हैं, why we can't do that in a normal condition? हम सस्टेनेबल बोलते हैं, बस आके सस्टेनेबल कर दिया, and then we don't actually do sustainable things ever. Like I was mentioning कि अगर meat consumption, we have 23 billion chicken at the moment on the planet, 23 billion, और अगले 10-15 साल में इसकी डिमांड 5 times जाने वाली है. तो you can imagine there will be a time when हमारी पोल्ट्री की प्रोडक्ट की प्रोडक्शन ज्यादा हो रही है ह्यूमन से on this planet. Why don't restaurants or hotels say कि यार Monday and Tuesday no chicken will be served throughout the country? How much of a relief does farming industry get from it? How much of a relief does artificial growing जो इनको करनी पड़ती है? Chicken have been feeded with lot of things to be grown faster. So goes for the eggs. I'm not telling people to be vegetarian. I'm telling people to use that odd and even rule somewhere or the other. And ये अभी नहीं sir, I'm telling you right now, this will stay on YouTube. I'm telling you next 15 years, people have to do that. This is the only way to cut down the demand of something at the moment. Otherwise, we will run out of food at some certain stage of point, no matter how much we try. तो ये होना ही होना है आगे जाके कि there will be a time when hotels gonna take this step. And now
yes, definitely, that is a demand and supply thing. Like if we don't have demand, then we will not going to produce that.
Yes. तो this is, ये हमने बैठे पहले फोर्स किया, क्योंकि मेरे को पता है कि ये चीज होनी है out of lot of research कि सर आप फार्म्स देखेंगे, इतनी बुरी हालत है फार्म्स की. The amount of feeding being done and the way feeding being done, it's not right. On same behalf, if you want to learn a little bit more about this research, is by Dan Barber, Chef Dan Barber. He have done a lot of research on this farming, and I'm following him regularly. I've been in touch with him, and the way he does farming, I've even mentioned in my TED talk. It's incredible. It's very different. पहले sheeps जाएंगी farm के अंदर, खाएगी, क्योंकि sheeps की memory इतनी smart है कि जहाँ पे वो खाएगी उनको वापस उधर ही आके खाना है घास को. They are only fed grass there. They are not grain fed. दे आर ग्रास फेड, और इंडिया में सब कुछ ग्रेन फेड है। तो जब वो आके वहां पे खाएगी तो जो ग्रास इतनी होती है अगर, तो शीप को सिर्फ इतनी ग्रास खानी चाहिए, इसके नीचे की ग्रास इज नॉट हेल्दी फॉर शीप, इट मेक्स इट फैटी। तो व्हाट हैपेंस एंड देन जब उन्होंने वो खा ली, they will go for a break, but they want to come back. So when they go for a break, they cover that area, they seal that area, कि वो sheep वहां पे मुड़ के वापस ही नहीं आएगी। तो you can imagine how much
Priyogani.
It was a very innovative session by Chef Sanjay Thakur, and really there are plenty of things, I mean, which I have heard for the first time, and it's really a very knowledgeable webinar for me. Being a front office person, as I'm because my second area of interest was kitchen, but I moved to the front office. But I'm very fortunate to hear something, I mean, which was I've never read in books, neither I've seen in industry when I was working there. So it's really a knowledgeable webinar, I would say, for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Abhishek. Thanks.
Now, I would like to give vote of thanks on behalf of IHM Merit. I would be thanking Chef Sanjay for being present here, and it is being rightly said that we leave from our conversations, right? So our conversations, definitely your words would reach to many students and would give a message to them to be a future chef and utilizing the all ingredients which you mentioned in your presentation. First of all, I would like to thank the management of the IHM Merit, which is the source and inspiration to us and always supporting us to hold such events and bring new things to the IHM campus, especially Raman sir, Sharad sir, and Chairman sir. Then I would like to thank our chef, Professor Anand Mittal, who has been very inspiring to us, and during lockdown times, he has always acted as a role model for all of us to do such events. Then again, I would like to thank the people behind the scene, the technical team who make these events happen and help us. Then I would like to thank the students which shows interest in such events. For them, we have been doing these things. I would like to thank all the panel members, especially Mr. Azhar, Mr. Saurabh Chandra, Mr. Abhishek, who all has been supporting us for a long time. Then I would like to thank the Chef Sanjay, who has been present here and who through his ideas has been a constant inspiring. I would help us as students to learn many things, and we would learn also from his ideas that he said that apart from curriculum in one day, we should take the extra things and we should inspire the students to help and learn new things on international cuisine or exotic cuisine or some special ingredients which we can use. At last but not the least, I would like to say that all of us, we should stay at home, we should wash our hands regularly and be safe in these COVID times. And last, I would like to take permission of our director, sir, to close this event if he allows. Thank you, sir.